What's going on, guys? So today we have the Star BM9. This is a Spanish surplus pistol. It's kind of their knockoff of a 1911. Really nice gun. These things served in the Spanish National Guard for quite a few years before they were decommissioned for something a little bit more modern. The company Star has a real good background and reputation. They've been making guns since 1905, and I believe the company went under in 1997, I want to say. These guns were made from 1972 until about 1992, I believe, from what I've read and heard. But yeah, it's kind of a Spanish knockoff of a 1911. It's a mid-sized, more of a commander-sized. Kind of the happy midi ground. It's a steel frame, steel slide. It's about 34.5 ounces. I believe 200,000 of these were produced between 1972 and 1999. It's got a 3.7 inch barrel. It's got a full length guide rod that is also captured for the recoil spring. So kind of a little bit nicer, a couple more commodities than what those 1911s were doing at that time period. When I got this thing, I picked it up at a gun shop, used for I think around $300, maybe a little bit less. I believe I traded something in. And traded up for this, threw a little bit of cash on top, so I'm not very sure what the actual cash amount was to get this thing out the door, but I think I did pretty good. I remember I went in there and traded him some bullshit. I think I traded him like a BM9 or something like that for this. This thing is 9mm, thus the Star BM9. I believe they also made these things in a couple other variants of 9mm that are kind of more obsolete now. I believe they stuck with the 9mm Parabellum. I don't know how to pronounce it. If you know, you know. But yeah, they were made in a couple different calibers, so you can find whether you want to stick with 45 if you're one of those guys. I'm not a big fan of 45. I know I'm speaking fucking blasphemy right now, but I'm just not a big fan of 45. If I'm going to go for a big caliber, I'm going to go closer to 40. 40 is kind of my threshold, honestly, for me personally. But really nice gun. When I picked this thing up, it had the factory finish on it. It was blued steel. Still had a really nice finish on it. It had some, plumbing around here and on the slide from where it had been gripped, and oily hands grabbing on it and around the grip. But for the most part, I had some holster wear and kind of what you would expect from an older pistol like this, but really good condition. I didn't have any problems with it. I still have never had any problems with it. I've shot quite a few different variants of 9mm through it, whether it was full metal jacket, quite a few different brands of FMJ through there. I've shot quite a few hollow points through here. I've never had any problem with it. It seems to like plus P ammunition a little bit better. Not that full metal jacket really makes any difference. I was shooting some some of that bullshit ammo that you'll get from the gun show, 500 rounds for $50 or something like that, and they're kind of oddball reloads that are all thrown into one big box. I was shooting some of those and had a couple failure to ejects, but that's more of the ammunition than anything. With this magazine, you get 8 rounds of 9mm, 1 in the head, so 8 plus 1. Yeah, really nice gun. I like it. Super smooth. Cycle is very smooth. The trigger is very crisp and smooth. Really nice gun. When I shot this thing, it was kind of surprising how smooth and how well everything worked. I was expecting, I've bought quite a few of these older surplus pistols, and sometimes, you know, they just have their weird quirks, whether it's that gun specifically, you know, has something just a little bit wrong with it, the recoil spring's kind of worn out, or whatever the case may be. But this thing has been a fucking champ. Hasn't given me any problems. This thing really reminds me of shooting a staccato, one of those 1911 9mm staccatos. I shot one of those at a gun range once, and as I was cycling it and holding it and shooting it, it really reminded me of this gun. And I mean, yeah, the staccato has, you know, a better reputation and it has better capacity, but for the most part, how it handled and how it functioned and how it felt just like this. I mean, this thing is buttery smooth. The trigger is crisp. This thing does have a trigger disconnect, so if the magazine is not in the gun, cannot pull that trigger. But if you put that in, you'll feel it kind of break that wall where that disconnect is. Very crisp trigger. This thing can be half cocked. It's usually how I carry, one in the head, half cocked. And whenever you're half cocked, you still cannot pull the trigger until you go all the way. And once you get all the way, if you like being hammer back, one in the head, if that's your thing, you can have your external safety on as well. However you prefer, however you like to carry, it's up to you. Really nice gun, man. Really nice. Once I got this thing Cerakoted, I kind of took influence from another guy I saw on YouTube and did a similar job to his with the silver and the matte black finish. So I kind of took after that, gave it more of a modern, updated look, and I think it carried over very well. I've put this in the hands of a couple guys and they couldn't tell that this was a fucking 30-year-old surplus pistol. From the looks and from how it functions and how it shoots, it feels like just about anything else that you would pick up nowadays as a 9mm or as a 1911 variant. Super nice gun. I've had quite a few offers to buy it, especially after the Cerakote job, but I'm gonna hold on to this one. I carry it. I'll carry this thing every now and then whenever I'm back home. It is pretty heavy. I mean, 34.5 ounces, that's beating. It's almost a boat anchor compared to a lot of guns nowadays, but I like the old school. I'm a big fan. Really nice gun, really nice sights. Very accurate for the most part for what it is. I honestly just have no complaints of it. I know a lot of guys love these things. Some guys probably never heard of them. I tell everybody, if you see one of these, then, I mean, if the price is right, you might as well pick it up. This is one of those things, it's been around forever. It's going to be around for just as long as anything else. So, might as well pick one up, have your fun with it. If it's not your thing, sell it back. They hold their value pretty well. I mean, for a $300-ish pistol, you really can't go wrong. And I mean, nowadays most things are closer. To get a decent gun, you're looking at $500, $600, $700, $800, depending on what brand, what your taste is. But this thing, you really can't go wrong. Just a really nice gun. Only thing I've ever had an issue with is when I did my Cerakote job. These grips, you can tell this is not the original grip. This one on the left side of the gun, this is the original grip. And whenever we were doing the Cerakote process, I had a local buddy of mine do the Cerakote job on it. And whenever he did the bake process to, you know, lock in the matte black finish that I had him do on these grips, you might not be able to see it, but there, the very bottom of that circle is the hole where the screw for the grip goes in. This grip shrunk whenever it went through the heating process, just a quarter of an inch, and it's just a little bit too high now. So this does not have a bottom screw in it at the moment, but I'm in the process of finding some grips for this thing. I bought a pair from a website, and that's why this one's different. I bought a pair from a website, and this side fit fine. Fits really nice. I like how it looks. But whenever I put this side on, it seemed like it wasn't cut very well to fit the external safety. So if you had the external safety up, it would fit, but once it was down, it wasn't engaged all the way, which I'm not really a big fan of. So I took the aftermarket one that I picked up and put the original one back on, just for the meantime until I find another set. I got that one returned, and they said that it was a manufacturing process mistake, and they're gonna get it taken care of, send me a new one back. So still waiting on that. But for the most part, other than that, I mean, haven't had any problems with this thing. I don't clean my guns very religiously as like some people do. So this thing is kind of caked up in there. It's got quite a bit of carbon buildup, and still, it's just buttery smooth. I was shooting it yesterday, not a single jam, not a single hiccup. The magazines are very good quality. They have a metal follower, metal all the way around. Really good quality. This magazine's almost always loaded, so never had any problems with feeding or ejection. This is a really nice gun, man. I encourage anybody to go pick one up if you come across one. Doesn't really matter what kind of ammunition you're running through it. I mean, it does to some degree, but as long as you're getting quality ammunition, you're gonna be fine. This thing's not gonna let you down. Good quality gun for the price. I mean, these old Spanish guns, I own a couple of them, and out of the couple that I own, they're all extremely good quality. Very fucking what's the word I'm thinking of? Very reliable, very good quality. They hold up very well. I mean, what more can you really ask for? These old school guns, there's just something about them. There's almost no play in that trigger. What I'm bouncing on right there is that wall. And once you just lightly pull through there, it goes. Really nice, man. This Cerakote job gave this gun a lot of justice. I think it's a lot more looks than what it did when it just had the old factory blue on it. But yeah, man, Star BM9, go get you one.